A company or group having exclusive control over a commodity or service. The Federal Trade Commission and 17 states have just filed suit against Amazon for illegally maintaining monopoly power. There's a ton of information in the complaint that is blacked out. Not everything is public, but we're gonna go over the nature of the case as best we can. The FTC blatantly calls Amazon a monopolist and alleges that it exploits its customers. The FTC complaint stresses that Amazon has not violated the law by being big, but by how it uses its scale and scope to stifle competition. For example, Amazon has hiked fees so steeply that the fees it charges sellers now take up to half of every dollar from the typical seller that uses its FBA service. Amazon allegedly itself recognizes that its third-party sellers are finding it increasingly difficult over time to be profitable. However, one seller explains, "We have nowhere else to go and Amazon knows it." In addition to overcharging its customers and sellers, the FTC alleges that Amazon is degrading the services it provides by enforcing pay-to-play advertisements. Most sellers must pay for advertising if they even hope to have a chance of reaching Amazon's massive base of online shoppers. Consequently, shoppers face less relevant search results and are steered toward more expensive products. The FTC alleges in a competitive world, Amazon's decision to raise prices and degrade services would create an opening for rivals to attract business, gain momentum, and grow. But Amazon has engaged in unlawful monopolistic strategies to close off that possibility. I think most people would agree that there's nothing wrong with the company trying to offer the lowest price. However, the FTC alleges that Amazon uses illegal strategies to block competition. Originally, Amazon imposed explicit contractual requirements barring all sellers from offering their goods for lower prices anywhere else. According to the complaint, after European regulators began investigating, Amazon got rid of these requirements in Europe. And then after a US senator called for antitrust scrutiny, Amazon got rid of these anti-discounting policies in the US in 2019. Well, sort of. Amazon allegedly continues to punish sellers by dropping them from the buy box if a seller offers their product cheaper somewhere else. A significant portion of all sales come from the buy box. So if the seller is eliminated from the buy box, the seller will experience a tank in sales. Another form of punishment is to bury discounting sellers so far down in Amazon's search results that they become pretty much invisible. If an especially important seller is caught offering lower prices elsewhere online, these sellers could face a total exile from Amazon's marketplace. Amazon allegedly admits that these tactics have many sellers living in constant fear. The FTC alleges that Amazon uses its vast power, size, and control over multiple business units to prevent potential rivals from building a sizable base of either shoppers or sellers that could achieve the scale needed to compete effectively with Amazon. For example, potential rivals are stifled by Amazon's sophisticated surveillance network of web crawlers that constantly monitor the internet, searching for discounts that might threaten Amazon's empire. When Amazon detects an online product cheaper than a seller's offer for the same product on Amazon, Amazon punishes that seller. The punishments are intended to prevent rivals from gaining business by offering consumers lower prices. Amazon seller punishments and higher seller fees often force sellers to match inflated Amazon prices. As a result, online shoppers face artificially higher prices even when shopping somewhere other than Amazon. When Amazon raises their fees, sellers must raise the costs of goods to offset the fee hike. And in order to keep compliant with Amazon, sellers also have to raise their prices off Amazon too. The business practice deprives American households of more affordable options. Sellers and customers alike are forced to be dependent on Amazon. Potential Amazon rivals can't compete for sellers by offering lower fees because sellers can't pass along those savings to shoppers in the form of lower product prices without the threat of losing business from Amazon. Another way Amazon stifles rivals is by requiring sellers who want their products to be Prime eligible to use Amazon's fulfillment service. The FTC claims many sellers would rather use an alternative fulfillment method to store and package customer goods. However, Prime eligibility is critical for sellers because of the enormous reach of Amazon's Prime subscription customers. According to the complaint, many sellers would also prefer to multi-home, that is, simultaneously offering their goods across multiple online sales channels. The FTC claims sellers could multi-home more cheaply and easily by using an independent fulfillment provider, a provider not tied to any one marketplace to fulfill orders across multiple marketplaces. Independent fulfillment providers could cause rival online marketplaces to compete for the sale. In turn, this competition would likely result in lower seller fees and lower costs to customers. The FTC stresses that Amazon's illegal monopolistic strategy is paying off for Amazon, but at a great cost to millions of American households and thousands of sellers. Left unchecked, according to plaintiffs in the lawsuit, Amazon will continue its illegal strategies to maintain monopoly power. On a side note, I remember several years ago I tried selling products on Amazon, but all my profits were getting eaten up in advertising and seller fees. Even though I was getting sales, I couldn't make any money unless I sold my products beyond what customers were willing to pay for them. After a couple of years of trying to turn a profit, I decided to close that business. I don't fully blame the failure of that business entirely on Amazon's fees, but sometimes I wonder if it would have been successful if Amazon hadn't taken such a massive cut. I can only imagine it's even harder now to make money with FBA as a small business. After reading the complaint, I do think some of Amazon's business practices are monopolistic, but since Amazon doesn't control over half of the US e-commerce market, I'm not sure if this lawsuit will be enough proof to consider it a monopoly. Well, that's all for today's video. I'd love to read your thoughts. Comment below if you think Amazon is a monopoly. If you like this type of content, drop a like and subscribe. Let me know if you'd like me to keep you guys updated on this case. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.